And you know, it's certain.
Oh, you're fine.
All right.
Okay.
Are we ready?
She doesn't know.
Let's redirect these.
It is live. Okay, it is 6:30 on today's August 22nd. 2022. We're going to go ahead and get this meeting started. If everyone will please stand for the invocation.
Father in heaven, we're thankful to be here today. We're so thankful for the rain that our lake needed and we needed as a city. Father, please bless us that we may continue to have some rain to bring the lake up, but protect those from flooding, that nothing bad may happen to any of our citizens. Father, help us tonight to keep our minds and our hearts open to the needs of the city. Help us that we may have clarity in our thought, that we may be able to use this money wisely in a way that will effectively help our citizens. Father, we love thee. We're thankful for all the blessings thou hast given us. And we say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You know, there, it's the next one.
Here we go.
Is there any announcements? No. Any announcements? I do, if no one else does. The first thing I want to bring up is the Quinlan ISD school board calling for a bond election. And before anybody gets their hair raised up on the back of your neck, this is a no tax bond. It's a $25 million bond. There'll be no increase in taxes or anything like that. And contrarily, they have lowered for the last 4 years, the school district has lowered their tax rate. 4 years in a row, they've dropped the tax rate. This bond, I can't remember which school it is that used to be the high school out by the football stadium.
Joe Martin.
What is it?
Joe Martin.
Joe Martin School? Okay, that one right there. We looked at that. We looked at some of the other facilities. I'm trying to think of the other one right there by the new high school. I don't know what's the name of it, but anyway, we looked at those. For instance, some of this, the bus barn also, the bus barn will barely, if it'll even fit a bus in the bus barn, it is in shambles. It needs serious safety and security upgrades, such as door locks that do not require teachers in all not from the school. So one of the things they want to do is upgrade the security and safety of the doors to the schools, you know, based on what's been happening for quite some time now. They've got some roof replacements to address leaks. They've had a lot of problems with that. These roofs are flat roofs, and flat roofs leak. That's just the way it is. HVAC replacements for units that have exceeded their life or end of life expectancy. They want to go in and do some flooring replacement to save the district money on stripping and waxing. These school hallways are long and broad, and there's a lot of supplies, labor, and everything goes into those. Just completely strip them, wax them, buff them, and all that to maintain their the beauty of them actually. The playground upgrades, drainage issues. They want to add awnings to it because in the summer months, the kids, you know, just like our park, they cannot go out there and play on the playground. It's just too damn hot. So there's some area there. The proposed new transportation would be built on land already owned by the district and would include service bays that are properly sized to work on buses. Some of them, there's just barely enough room to close the doors, and that's it, which, you know, of course, they don't leave the doors open in the winter. They have to close them up. They're looking for a lounge with running water. They've got a huge drainage and parking issue at the bus barn because that land is not big enough to house the bus barn, the maintenance shop, and to park the buses and the vehicles that the people drive up to get in the buses. So there's a lot of serious issues that need to be done there. And then they're also proposing a career and technical education addition to the school, which is very much needed. Not every kid goes to school. Not every kid is made to go to school. But what this ISD needs is technical school, technical education, so that they can go in and learn about HVAC, electrical, plumbing, something they can go out and do when they graduate, and honestly make as much or more money than a college grad makes in a lot of cases. So I want to bring that to everybody's attention, that it will be coming up. It will be on the ballot on November 8th. If you got any questions, you can ask me, or if you know nothing else, I'll put you in touch with Tiffany Chapman, Jeff Irvin. I've had a talk with him, and that's kind of where we're going with that. Other than that, what I wanted to do, since it is after 5 o'clock, which was the deadline to file for city council, I just want to run right through so that everybody's on the same page here. What we've got starting on the right is going to be place 2, which will be Leon Myers versus Ward Hanson, or the other way around. I'm just putting it. Mayor will be myself versus Pam Reed to my left, and place 4 will be Robin Myers versus Lana Massey versus, let's see if I'm right on this, Annette, Jacqueline O'Connell. Is that right? Okay. So I just want to let everybody know those were the ones that officially turned in their application by the 5 o'clock deadline. So other than that, that's all the announcements I've got, unless somebody else has something. Anything out of the ordinary, or I will add that I did see it. Hunt County Different Board of the county put out the burn ban is still in effect. We're gonna have to get 10 more inches before the burn ban will be lifted. That's a lot of rain.
That's not accurate.
That's what it said. That's what.
The burn ban is a 90-day burn ban. The judge is the only one that's gonna lift that, and with the way that everything is dead, it doesn't matter how much water we get, it's still dead.
Yeah.
The water is just going to create a mud hole for us to get to. It doesn't matter how much more rain we get, we're still.
It clearly said on there for another 90 days.
That where you got that, it can come from the,
No, it was, they shared it from the Hunt County,
they shared that from the commission's court.
from the commissioner, part of what I saw. Anyway, that's the way I'm understanding it. And I could be wrong, I'm not, I could be wrong. Other than that, I don't have anything. Is there any citizens input? Any citizens, what happened to Mr. Hanson?
He walked right back on.
Oh, he did.
Wanted the papers and that's what,
Were you able to write him what he wanted?
sent them to him. He said, I didn't send them to him.
All right, so that's knocks out the announcements, number 4, and number 5, citizens input. Moving on, number 6, the budget, water sewer final, and then we'll move on to general fund. The water sewer final would be we met last, was it Wednesday, by the time we met? So we met Wednesday, and we went through the water budget, and Annette's had time between then and now to make the corrections that we all agreed and made, for the water sewer budget. What is water sewer is water? I guess it's water.
It's water on
So anyway, where would like to start? I know Leon has provided a, what might be, I guess it'd be a little easier to figure, with the yellow and red, paper that kind of showed, and what he's done, if you didn't hear already, what he did, he took the actual numbers that's been spent so far, divided that by 10 and multiplied it by 12. And he came up with a proposed, is that the column in red? It's the second one from the last, the proposed budget shortfall in red?
Yes,
Okay, so you added that whole column, red or black, right?
no, well, the totals may not be there, I just did the line items.
Okay. So that right on the, of course, on the income, that would indicate, something in red would indicate we under budgeted income. When it goes through expenses, it's gonna be over budgeted expenses.
Yes. No, the red's gonna be under.
Oh, the red's under, shortfall in red.
Shortfall
Yes,
in
yes,
red.
I'm sorry.
Black is over,
But what is it when it gets to expenses?
same thing.
Oh, okay. Okay,
It's just the actuals against the proposed budget.
and it may be easier to read for some people. Anyway, let me turn my phone on.
So what you're saying, Leon, is if it was in red, that we needed to add more to the budget
Yes,
to cover it?
if things average out the same for these last 2 months on the action.
On the actual.
But
The only one would know the difference would be in that if something was weird,
But let's just take one item, line item, 125, 2105, which is water. There was 962 budgeted, actual was 865, and the proposed budget is 987. So you're saying we've under budgeted that income by $52,058.41. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, if you add 2 more months to that 865 at an average of what that 865 is for 10 months, you're 52,000 short on the proposed budget. If things happen the same way they did this year,
Yeah, okay.
now if you know of something that's going to change for next year, then that's the difference.
Yeah.
And that could be the difference, on everything. I don't know how she comes up with her.
You guys, I guess we're gonna do this like we've been doing for years is that, well, I mean, if you've got something you want to talk about, bring it up. We've always, since I've been here, always even taken input from citizens with a question or a comment or anything like that. So however y'all want to do this, somebody speak up.
I mean, if you don't want to use my sheet, that's fine.
My question would be, have you had a chance to look at that? Do you see an issue? I mean, I see a lot of red there.
I do too, and
I do
I
too.
feel very uncomfortable saying we're gonna bring in, because we're anticipating like 40 homes. And 40, and he may be right, it may be 80 homes, we don't know. But
We were trying to be conservative, though. We don't want to say that based on what we've done in the 10-month period, that it's going to be exactly that next year. It could be more, it could be less. So we try to be conservative and be middle of the road, if you will.
So I can see that on income. I can see that makes sense to be very conservative on our income that we're going to have.
My first inclination was to be excited and go for it based on that 10-month period. But to me, it just wasn't realistic because every time I look at it that way, it never pans out.
That's without any increase in water. And then when was the last time that the city did a water increase? Wasn't that 3 or 4 years ago? I'm not suggesting it. I'm just thinking.
It's longer.
the last increase was outside city limits.
No, I know that. I don't know
And
for
the
city.
other one, I believe, was 2 years prior to that.
So it's 3 years ago. 4 years ago.
Maybe
It
more.
was 4 years ago. Okay. I was just curious. I'm not trying to change it. Yes, ma'am.
I know this is, I've just got a copy of the general fund, but how, we got that American Rescue Fund grant from the government. How will that factor into this budget?
It won't,
It won't.
it won't have any bearing on this budget at all. That's totally separate and
It's in,
cannot be,
that's in general fund,
yeah.
and that money is designated, it's only able to be spent on those three different categories.
Because I knew that the engineers they were helping us figure out how to spend it, right? So were you still working on the wish?
We had a grant,
Okay,
But they did
They-
give us specific items that we did spend.
okay. I just didn't know, I didn't know. how
anything that we will be spending it on, we've already had a change on the budget for the police department. But then the water sewer, we're still waiting for the final numbers before we move on to anything else.
So one more question. real quick. Leon, you did this with the changes that we already proposed, correct?
Yes, the changes are in here.
The changes
that I
are in
sent to him.
Other than going line for line to see it.
Well, she actually made the changes to what we talked about last week.
Yes.
She made those changes last week, and that's what you got in your packet Friday, so I guess you did your stuff over the week.
Based on it.
She sent it to me today. I didn't
Okay,
get it.
oh, wow, okay. All right.
So I got it. I couldn't make it.
And just so everybody kind of understands what you're seeing, and Leon, please correct me if I'm wrong. From what I'm seeing is, if it's in red on the income side, that's a good thing.
Right.
Okay, if it's in black on the income side, that means we kind of overstated there. Right? So that's kind of the gist of it. So on the income side, the concerns, if we were gonna be concerned, real concerned, which again, if you want to look at some of the larger ones, then in my eyes, then maybe we need to tweak those a little bit because we're kind of, for lack of better words, sandbagging a little bit on the larger ones if you look at them. But if you look at some of the smaller ones, that's going to be less of a concern in most eyes. But when you've got an $85,000 like
The water taps.
sewer taps or what, well,
Water-
sewer.
Water sewer taps.
Okay.
yeah, they're combined. So 125-2109, that's 85,000. So again, we're sort of sandbagging 85,000 is what that seems to look like, right?
That's what we're hoping for.
Right. And what I'm saying is with what Leon brought to light here, the red on the income side, the red's not bad. It's not like danger. Okay, which typically that's what you're looking at when you're looking at any kind of budget or line items. Red, you're like, oh crap, we gotta do something. Where we would really need to be looking hard, again, in those larger items, in my opinion, from the budget that I've worked through before in the past, not just here, but anywhere. The ones that are in black on the income, those are gonna be your bigger concerns. Because those are the ones that you actually could fall short on.
So that's quite a bit of difference over the $85,000 difference
Right.
and $52,000 difference.
Yeah.
Those two.
That's what was budgeted. It was only $20,000. So we had a lot more stuff coming to us on the income side for that, 129,000 versus the
Yeah.
20 that we budgeted.
And it's going back to Annette's comment or my comment
Okay.
about the 80 homes,
Right.
40
Okay.
homes.
The 129,000, this was the developer down there at the end, Black Bear. They paid for like 50 some odd taps that they owed for.
It was $115,000.
That one's probably a little hard
So
to.
that makes
So that was out of the ordinary. I mean, we did not expect that when we had that meeting and then we told them, y'all have not paid for these taps. We put these taps in when we run all those lines, so we wouldn't have to come back and redo and mess up the roads.
Yeah, and I think they came in two different times, did a total about $114,000, so.
So we can leave that one alone.
Yeah, that was quite a bit.
Yeah, because we won't get that many.
And then what about the water, 125, 2105?
That's one I thought of for the minute. 125, 105. Oh, yeah, the 52,000. Well, I'm just wondering, are we,
Okay,
is that something we're counting on the 40 new homes?
that's what we're estimating.
Okay. That's what I
We're
think.
just estimating 987,000 that we would bring in. That's probably low, but you know, you don't know what this economy is gonna do.
Right, and it would be better to show a nice margin there than come in short and look like we could not meet expectations. You want to supersede expectations.
Yeah.
So those 40 new homes gonna do water sewer tax?
Yes,
Uh-huh. And water,
You think you've got that covered in the 70,000?
yes.
We're agreeing to leave it.
Income as it is.
The budget of 962. What everybody's agreeing to?
Well, proposed.
The pros is 987.
Oh, the proposed agreeing to, yeah, the proposed, yeah.
Well, those are the only two that really stick out.
Yeah. on the income.
And I think I mentioned too, the last time when I talked about the number of homes that were, I think I said, it talked about, two on Hilburn, that's 95+% completed, 2 on Coast completed and sold, 3, Red Oak has some that's, sold, Indian Oaks has 3 that just started, 4 on Hemlock about to start, 2 Indian Oaks waiting 911 addresses, 60+ in Indian Oaks to do over several years. And they're looking at anywhere from a price point of $2.25 to $500,000 per home.
and phase 2, Black Bear,
Yeah,
you know, if they're approved, how many would it be?
It's 56, isn't it?
It's somewhere around there,
something like
54,
that. The
56.
total is
56.
170 something, including phase 1, there's 140 something more between phase 2 and 3.
Yeah, there's a total of 3 phases.
So there's gonna be a lot
I
more,
think
but
they're
we don't
just
know.
about
We don't
done with phase
And they're being, that they would be, you know, I don't know if they're gonna get them that quick.
Well, the problem we had, in the meeting that we had, they were having a difficult time getting. And then the ones that they did get, they weren't even ready to settle. And so we had them lined up on
Horizon.
Horizon.
I
Get 'em
can tell you,
stacked up
I've
on-
done 3 double wide move-in permits in the past week,
Okay,
and there's 2 more coming.
they would really have to get after it to get the full amount, fill that thing up.
Yeah, I want,
this year.
but I think they're about done with phase 1. They're getting close,
Alright.
I think.
Okay, all right.
So what about the garbage billing? Do you think we're gonna take in more than that 185 with all this new stuff?
125, 2116. Know what you're looking at?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's, you know,
Only $2,000 difference, or actually not even that.
well, from the budget and the actual, but the actual, remember, 10 months instead of 12.
Oh, I'm not looking at yours and how much you have.
Yeah, so I'm showing it's $9,500 short. That we could, you know, especially if we're bringing in new stuff.
Well, there's just no way to predict it. It's a swag.
Is the building gonna change? Is we gonna charge more or less?
No, we just don't know whether
Yeah,
they're
well,
gonna get them all.
if they
in there.
do go with the consumer price index, they could increase. And charge more,
I think we can discount.
you know, I feel like they'll probably say, hey, we're going up, you know. We would have to pass it on to the customer.
Yeah, I don't want it to be short, you know, $10,000 on building.
That one possibly could go up.
So if that was the only change you made, you got what, 7,000,
No,
7,772?
where you getting that?
Off your back. That's over.
I thought we were doing a garbage bill.
It's talking about what we have left over. in
Yeah,
the-
if we were needing to change that, to keep us.
Oh, okay.
So without any other changes, just adding that to it, that gets you closer.
We're talking about the 95, 61, 60 added to the total.
So you wouldn't be able to do the whole. So your 185, you would add that 7,772 to it, correct?
That would be. You know, that's.
Where you
on
getting that number
income.
at?
He's getting that number left over. But you
That
wouldn't have
number's gonna change.
That number will change if we add more income.
Right, yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna change.
Okay.
yeah, that number will go up with whatever you was to add. I mean, if we added the whole 9,000, then your 7,000, whatever would
Go up by
would
9.
increase by that.
The 16, so
Okay,
that
all right.
16.
So we're
That's
taking
what-
185 and 95, 61, 62.
Just, why don't, just to be on the conservative side, why don't we only add the 9,000 to it?
Adding 9,000 even to the 185.
Yeah.
We almost say just leave it like it is. If we do end up with $9,500 more on our income, then it's $9,500 more on our income. If we raise it 9,000 or $10,000,
You don't make it.
and we
Then
don't
we'll
make
be
it,
lucky to meet expectations.
then we're, the income, and I don't know, you really gotta look at that. You have to really separate it in your head, because it's the opposite of what we normally deal with is expenses. That's what we deal with on a daily basis in our P and L's expenses. We don't pay much attention.
I think realistically, if we all really took a deep look at this line I'm discussing,
Mhm.
given the current affairs of where we're at today with prices of everything, we're gonna miss this one no matter what we put. Okay, I don't, I mean, unless we just threw a big number against the wall, we might get close, but I can almost be willing to bet with you a steak dinner. It don't matter what we put here, because right now we're working off the actuals. Our actuals are not gonna be actuals next year.
Mhm.
There's already verbiage in our contract that allows the increase, and I mean, I would be absolutely floored if we didn't get hit with that. Because these people have been paying more for diesel all year long, almost,
I'm sure.
to come pick up our trash. They gotta recoup that somewhere,
Yeah,
and they're gonna recoup it through these contracts that they have. That's just that's the nature of the beast.
True.
So, I think we're just spitballing at this point on that line item. That's my thoughts.
any other questions, comments, concerns on the first page?
And just to shed light, because I don't know, I mean, in case there's other people that have this question, I think if the other people have done the same math Leon did here, and Leon, I appreciate what you did, because it's really handy. If you're looking at 125, 2120 checking interest, kind of the reason why that one's in the black, which is bad on income, right? Is because there's no actual to work off of. So, I mean, it's kind of easy to see that your proposed budget is the same amount that you're in the black. And there's a couple of them that are that same way, down that way. So I think that's the only reason why those are, so those are kind of, we can't really ask a question on those because we don't have an action. That would be something that when we get a final budget, I'm sure every one of our actions are going to be filled in, right? And then,
That, well, they're gonna have what it is up to, I'll have to go and pull it off of our financials, but,
We'll have what the day that you print them
Usually-
out, what they are. in other
yeah,
words.
and sometimes there's still something that hasn't hit, but when this goes and it will be printed, it will have our proposed budget. It doesn't have our actuals out there. That's what we put on our website, our proposed
why
budget.
not?
So we're not gonna have any septic dumping fees, because we're
We
not
won't
doing
have
that.
them, we won't have them this year.
We're not doing that.
We will next year.
Yes.
For this
Well,
budget
I-
year, we will.
Well, I'm in,
Oh,
I'm in.
I know.
For next-
Oh, okay, that's why there's no action.
We might have some at the very, very end of the year. hopefully. That's-
Yeah.
That's what the.
I think right now, the biggest thing we're waiting on is that sludge dumpster. That's the
Well,
biggest thing. isn't it?
That's the biggest thing. There's
a lot of
three
them.
proponents that are. kind of
Right, right.
Achilles
Okay,
heel.
so we're leaving everything on the income alone. Is that what I understand?
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason why I brought that up is I'm hoping that we will have some actuals, because if you look at the road boards, I mean,
Yeah.
you know, those right now, there's no actual, which is 125, 2112. Is that right?
Yes.
You know, that's, we kind of have to know what that's gonna be, which I think Michael had kind of given us a suggestion of what we were gonna have, but again, we're gonna have to, we're gonna put good faith in what, and you know,
So for 10 months, there hadn't been any road board, right?
there has, it's for whatever reason, that's not showing there.
Okay.
Because I know we've had some road.
Yes.
But the actual is not showing, so
Well, the road boards, it went into, yes, it went into another line item when I was looking here at the actual.
okay.
Okay. Are we moving on to page 2 now?
I'm gonna get going.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one that hits me is the overtime water, and we're saying that we're not going to have that much overtime next year.
Water 126, 1103.
1261103.
What was the actual? Oh, it's all combined. You gotta remember it's combined.
Water and sewer.
Yeah,
Right, one says 12,000 over, and one says 12,000 under.
yeah, so it's a water. And a lot of that actually, for these actuals was driven by the calamity that happened during, the fiber optics. That's where a lot of our overtime came from, was fiber optics. And there was several or a number of midnight leaks or weekend leaks or whatever, but a lot of it was driven by the fiber optic installation.
And then the next one that stands out is the 1261110, and I think that's a wash. too,
Is that
because,
equipment water?
yeah, because the sewer is over and it's under, and I think they were combined sort of there, so they even out with each other.
Pretty close.
In the contract labor, 1261117. You're saying we're not gonna use as much contract labor.
No, because now my license will carry it.
Well, where it comes from too is the meter reader and our the guy that does the testing, the water testing, and takes it to the lab. Is that once a week, right?
And it's once a month,
Once a month.
and he does reporting,
Yeah, he
which
does.
I'll be taking over.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything else?
If you want to explain what that one is.
Yeah.
Which one?
The salaries of water and combined is 1261102. Are we proposing that we're gonna spend another $136,000 more there?
That is increase in employees. 3 employees plus a 4th employee for position of the admin.
Yeah, so we're.
Trying to
That's good. I
look forward to that.
We're gonna have overlapping pay, admin overlapping.
And like I
pay.
said in the beginning, only Annette knows, the difference is why we're proposing that much. So I understand that.
I think she gave us a sheet last, meeting that had an explanation.
Yeah.
Of the, salaries on.
She did.
So we're moving to page 3 now, is that right? Garbage fees. It was the actual budget. Budget, oh.
Okay, so water line improvement.
Hold on.
Page
Page 3.
Page 3.
Is that 1261145?
1145.
Must be on the wrong page.
I must have split too many
Yeah.
pages, sorry.
The one that sticks out here is 1261132 garbage fee
Garbage.
and poly cars.
Yep.
We talked about the polycarts last time, and the reason that we did that.
Yeah, we actually took that one down.
Yes,
I think it was 160.
it was 160. We made it,
160 and
we made the decision to go down.
Yeah.
And then we added to the poly carts and brought it up. Yeah, so it was 140, we took it down to 120, and then the poly carts was 150, and we went to 60, or it was 50, sorry, went to 65.
So, and that's the ones you haven't read on the proposed budget or the ones you changed?
Yes.
If I remember correctly, that was, we were figuring on the added columns.
The growth, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think that's fine.
And then the maintenance and supplies, 1261141, maintenance supplies and parts for water.
Same thing, we agreed to go to that 35.
Yeah, but if you look at the.
The actual, yeah, versus.
Yeah,
that's
you need,
what-
we need to be looking at that. 'cause
Well, we
it's
talked
right.
about this already.
Yeah.
We're not having another fiber optic company come in here where I'm gonna blow my parts budget out of the water. So there's a reason why we set that number.
And we're going by rolls of duct tape. and paper.
Yeah. Well, and I think I would.
We're moving to page 4.
Yeah.
We use duct tape.
Whatever.
Yeah.
One of the questions.
Go ahead. Hang on, guys.
Water,
What?
the property insurance water.
Property insurance for-
What number?
What number?
It's
Sorry.
1261130.
Why is there such a difference there?
We had 6,100 actual on a $7,500 budget. And then we proposed budget of 75. Did you miss maybe a
Oh, yeah.
decimal point?
That's exactly how it was written.
I thought we caught that last time.
No,
No.
I don't have any notes on it, exactly the same.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a couple zeros.
Just move the decimal point 2 times over. Whoa, wait a minute.
So that'll be the only change so far.
Yeah.
Next page.
And now we're moving on to, this is page 4, it starts with 1261143 telephone.
Water line improvement, 1261145. Mike, are we planning on extending water out in any other areas than
Yes,
we
ma'am.
already have it?
Yes.
Okay. So, do
We
you
got
think, do you think we'll need,
Got enough money there?
Yes, sir.
You sure? that it
You
looks
spent
like-
18,000.
What?
You spent 18,000 in 10 months.
I did. I extended the main line coming up Maze Lane. And we only have half of that distance to go this time. The only other area that we had talked about and planned to expand is going down 276 from Ambets down towards Rainbow, because right now the main line stops at the fire hydrant in front of the storage building. And
Yeah,
then the rest of the feed goes underneath the highway at Tomahawk to feed Rainbow Cove. So
Oh, so-
as of now, it's not actually necessary, but it is something that we're gonna need to plan for.
so the water goes down to the Ambets on the north side of
It
the road.
stops.
And it
stop,
goes under the road to the south side of the
No.
road and goes down.
No,
It just, well, how are they getting water?
we have water on each side of the highway. We have water on both sides of the highway.
You said it stops at
And,
Ambets.
well, on the north side, it stops at Ambets,
Yeah,
and then you have a blank area in front of the golf course. And then at Rancheros, a feed goes underneath the highway
Okay,
to feed
okay.
Rainbow Cove.
that makes sense. Okay. But are you also including in or projecting phase 2 or 3 of Horizon?
That's,
I just asked the same question.
So they are going to cover their own infrastructure,
Okay,
and it'll be up to the city to make a choice to adopt or not to.
okay, okay. All right, that's the only thing I see on that. That's what-
Any new development, especially mass development, needs to be on the developer. And the only part that we play is inspections
Right. Well,
and the engineering part of it.
I guess, the, approval of the material used and stuff like that.
Yes,
Okay,
that would be on us too.
okay, okay. Any other one?
So that takes care of the water. The one right underneath it is sewer.
Right,
I would question, I know there's been conversation about the annex and going up to 76.
right.
Has any of that been taken into consideration or looked at? So it's been a
Yes.
question a couple of times.
Yes. As a matter of fact, if we had to add a lift station, that's in the lift station part of it. So yes,
so we have enough money in there,
yes.
okay.
We would probably only be going as far west as Catover.
Yeah,
That'd
and
be
then from there, you're talking downhill to Circle K where it's gonna meet up.
Right.
Underneath the highway.
Yeah, so no lift station.
Now Pleasant Valley, that would change everything. depending on what happens with that.
Yes, and that's another big project that we haven't really talked about.
Well, you know, the last time I spoke to him, he's still, you know, a year out before he's actually ready to sit down and talk about that,
Okay, okay, okay.
unless a miracle happens. for him.
but I
Yeah,
remember,
yeah.
I remember you even told him that if he went forward with anything that
He would have to do his own.
we would support, but they're gonna have to, they're gonna have to put it first.
Right. The only thing that the city, what we're doing is meeting them at the highway.
Yeah, yeah.
Which would be, very-
Which was already.
which would be very minimal.
Well, and that's the way it is in any residential area.
Absolutely.
That was one question I had.
Okay, we're on, we're on page 4 or 5, I'm lost.
We're on 4.
Still on 4.
Okay, so we said, if we're looking at 1261147, we talked about that in the last meeting, that we weren't going up because we have the newer vehicles, we don't have to go up on repair and maintenance. Even though it reflects lower than it was last year.
Correct. That was earned.
Okay, so looking down at the next one, 1261149.1 sewer chemicals.
Well, those. That's skyrocketed.
Always.
Showing a lot less on our budget to what our actuals were.
Right. I'll put exactly what I believe. This
For
year, we have
sure.
an issue, with the microbial population and having to repopulate several times. We believe that we have corrected that.
We don't think we'll have that problem this next year.
No. There are certain things that cause that issue, and I believe we solved that problem.
Well, wondering about, I know that the lake being low can cause that problem.
Well, it doesn't affect your sewer, because that's after at least the residents in the business.
But it affects your water.
It does affect my water.
So are we going to need more chemicals because of the drought we've kind of had? You think that's gonna influence? our
Well, I
water?
mean, if you look, he has 6339, no, as far as being over on water chemicals.
Uh-huh.
But I believe that number should, the 6,500 should cover it
Okay.
with the percent increase that they're giving.
Is this right? Are you looking at them, are expecting them to change their rates with us?
Yeah, we talked about that, didn't we? Did they already change it or they're going to change?
Talking about Sammy Room, they, and the new budget year, they're going to change it.
Yeah, the rates can go up.
Anybody, any idea how much?
What is it? 5
Something like that, 5 cents.
5 cents per hundred or 1,000?
They're increasing from 0.130 per thousand to 0.135 per thousand.
Oh, that's, yeah.
Well, it adds up. when
It
you
does add up.
take
We're
$1
gonna
million
have-
away.
Yeah, yeah.
Using some before?
All right, we're still on page 4, the lift stations, 126-1157, he's already mentioned. We do have some lift stations that are in need of, some repairs. Probably some motor replacement pumps or anything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And a couple
Well,
of.
we've got quite a bit of work to do there.
It just doesn't reflect our actual. Our actual was higher, but there was a lot of work that was done by
Yes.
others.
Well, we
Yeah.
had 4 lift stations that we replaced, pumps, motors, electrical boxes, all kinds of stuff. So
Like, how many
and
lift
you're-
stations do we have total?
we have a total of 23. Well, actually, it's 25 now, but 4 of those are private.
Private?
Yeah.
Customer.
They make some- they make their own.
But we still have to do the inspections and we still have to check on them to make sure that they're still within the legal limit.
Anything else on the page? Michael must have dinner sitting on the table because he's.
No,
standing up.
I need to run back here to my office. For a minute. But I'm with you. I'm here. We're good. I got
You
you.
gonna talk to a guy about a horse?
I do. That meeting with the governor. Don't worry, I got this, man. I got it. I'll just name it.
Moving on to the next page.
Yeah.
That one, 1263210 doesn't go up, so it's not.
Yeah.
What was it?
1263210 doesn't really go up.
Oh, yeah, no, that's,
It's what it- that's what
yeah,
it is.
unfortunately, we're stuck with that for 20 more years.
Yeah.
I think it's actually 25.
40-year note.
You know,
It
40
should
years
be at what, 19, 20 years now, I think.
remaining. I bet it's 25, maybe it is.
There was one of those notes for $1 million too, the very first thing I voted on when I got on the county. You get 40 years.
Yeah.
Yes,
There
there
probably
probably
is.
4-year note.
Some of these started in 2013. Uh, 2016.
That's the million, $1 million.
17. The only one that is gonna be going away soon is the pad, the planning and design. The 1263214, start one.
before we get out of the water deal, we've really been blessed. With this, we didn't even see it coming. This TDM money, we had no idea that it was coming until actually already hit here. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Quinlan admin and he brought it up to me. I had no idea. And that, none of us knew anything about this. And he looked at it up on the computer and told me how much they were getting. And while I was on there, he said, well, let me look at yours. And they, wow, y'all getting twice as much as we are. And most of that is going towards the water plant, which is in dire need of some upgrades. We spent so much money frivolously with engineer Tonka cost us $5,000 just to come in here and tell us. We paid them $450 a day in meals, I think.
Per diem.
Per diem, for
Just to
meals.
come
and
down and
lodging.
talk, they couldn't do anything.
They just, they got us for $5,000 and didn't do nothing. And that's the kind of money we spent years ago. And now with this money coming in, that will allow us not to get to 100%, but
close.
it'll be close. It'll be close. So we're really blessed with that
The
money.
very next part of that.
And that's not gonna show in this
media.
So we're on, I think we're on the last page. I think we're on the last.
Yes.
Yeah.
They all equal. I didn't have any questions on the last one.
Yeah. We agree, we're all good to go on that, on the proposed budget for water.
Only the one change from
Yeah.
$75 to $75.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, this there. Moving on to the, kind of looking ahead. Very well. Okay. All right, I'm looking for a particular item in the general fund that's 2 or 3 pages deep that I want to make sure that we talk on. Okay, so we're on the general fund. Right now, you should have the proposed budget, which you just got highlighted in green. And you didn't, okay, you did, that is the 2022-23 budget. As you can see, the income on general income, 72,000 carryover, which is very good, better than some of the years in the past, and that's gonna allow us to operate for about 90 days.
But actually, what's left up in the bank account will.
Oh, yeah, the bank-
90 days,
yes.
this is what we're using for the new budget year.
Yeah. You're not curious for the first 90 days till January. Ad valorem starts. Coming in.
That's better than last year.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's
I
gonna be.
think last year we were sweating.
That's your waiting on a check out the mailbox.
Much better, yes.
It's something.
On, it's on that TDM money, 1.50.0999 right at the top, TDM restricted funds.
Mhm.
We've got 15,000 shortfall on that. And then there's another right above it on the AMRF, which is American Rescue Relief Funds. 51,000, almost $52,000 shortfall. And I don't see how we can have that. The money.
I think that's because we're taking those you can't divide, because that's the actual for the end of the year.
Well, that's what I mean, yeah.
We've already paid that.
So those two you just overlook. Well, I mean, that money is the money that we've
That money-
gotten.
That money is
So,
there and
it's-
it's. a
That's what we
different
bought the
budget.
two.
There's no more coming.
Yeah,
It's-
well,
Right.
it will be on the American Rescue money, but we don't know when it's coming.
Not, right, not until maybe next year or whatever.
Mhm.
But for this fiscal year, that's all we're gonna get. Is what you see, what you see, what you get.
Right.
There's
So
no
you
more.
can take the,
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Those are gonna end up being that amount at the end of this budget year.
You can move on down to 1.50.115 tax roll current. We had budgeted 386,000. The actuals right now are 396, almost 397,000. We actually collected, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong in that, we collected more delinquent taxes this year than we have in years past. Is that-
Yes, when they had that contract with us, they said that they would collect 100% of the taxes. But now the delinquent, they are after January, then they start being in the delinquent category.
Yeah.
And some of them may be even, really, old taxes that they have collected on.
Well, and there's really not anything we can do about what's proposed budget is, because that's what we're told that we will get.
Well, this right here, y'all pass this around and I can maybe explain. Mhm. I have extras. Okay, our proposed value on this very first page is 125,185,618. Is what our proposed value is. That's after they have, look on the second page. This is from the certified totals. Okay, that very bottom line right there, that's our taxable appraised value. And the taxable appraised value, multiply it by the M and O. The M and O is what is gonna go into our general fund. The M and O is the first column I have circled up there. It's 0.378925. Multiply that times the value, and then you divide it by 100. And I have it broke out there. That's 100% of what we would be collecting. Then you pull away possibly 8%. That's what it seemed like that we had last year is 8%. And so that's where I'm putting these figures in this budget here for the income and for the delinquent. The current is 436,359. Well, here it's just a little bit more. It's $100 more. The other one is 38,000, and the 8% up there is the 37,948. That's really close. So these numbers are just, pretty much. And the other is our INS. That's percentage what will pay for that INS for our loans that we just took out on the vehicles and the equipment. That's where that money will come from. Okay. So hope that explains a little bit on that
Yes.
Perfect
revenue.
sense.
I like it.
Anybody else got any other questions on page 1? Okay. Yeah, of course. That's the really first one that sticks out with me. I'm sure those are as well.
We're
No, we-
expected to have more things in our court this year. than
we have had,
This
already.
court was working basically with John for how many months out of the year? 7 months out of the year, and then he brought on an officer, then he brought on the second officer. So that's why that revenue is really down at the 37,000.
But we're bumping it up. Quite a bit from the actuals because of that time lag.
Right.
So being conservative with it as well, because it could be more than that. It could be less, I guess. I can't see it being less than what the actuals were last year or the current year.
Well, hold on. Me too.
Oh, yeah, that'll be better.
We'll be doing good. We'll be doing good if we get that budget with that budget market.
At the very bottom there is the CSI inspections. We have not been collecting for those. They've not, well, we're gonna make sure that they go and they're accounted for in their own line item.
Yeah.
This is something that will be done in-house.
Yeah, I know what that is, but remind me what the acronym is.
Customer service inspections.
Oh, okay.
It's another one of those licenses that is a part of our.
We've got 1 or 2 people.
Well, one, and I'm fixing to take my test.
Okay. Okay. But we have yet to start collecting or charging rather.
Right, we haven't, and that's kind of a problem. So to move forward to get the city to where it should be, we're gonna start doing.
Is that, well, that's something, is that, do we have an ordinance on that?
We do actually, don't we? Annette?
If not, we're gonna have to get.
No, we have one.
And when a new customer moves in, that form is attached to their water application.
Okay. Anything else on this page? Nothing, moving on. There's one on here that I would kind of like to explain. If anybody catches it or has a question on it, I'll pop up and explain myself. Starting at the top. Salary.
Who's getting the salary right now for our municipal court?
That is Stacy.
Stacy?
Stacy is the new lady that is in our court.
Part-time.
We had Amanda in there,
Mhm.
and then when Cody left, we moved Amanda over to fill in half of it and with our account payable and office here. So it's been beneficial moving it that way. And we've switched our administration around as well.
Yeah.
It's been a long around.
Okay, so Stacy is the one doing the court clerk now. And 20 days a week. She's going in.
She is, but she's working 5 days a week. This, today and, tomorrow, she's probably gonna be coming in all day, trying to get some things set on the, on our code for our fines, trying to get that set in there. We're hoping it's not gonna affect too much.
Then moving on, salary.
Oh, that was a question, another question I had. 1.64.100. Why is the insurance so high?
Wait a minute.
compared to the employee insurance?
Oh, 164,100. Okay.
100, right? Her insurance compared to her salary is like 1/3 of her salary is paid in insurance.
The,
That's a lot of insurance.
that's, the insurance is around, it's around $920 a month. So,
That's what it's kind of cheap.
Well,
Unfortunately, it's a lot less than what I paid for me and Robin.
she's only making $36,400 a year, and we're paying $11,400 a year in insurance.
That's pretty much the story across the board.
Yeah.
And that pretty much, you tell that employee that you're getting that paid, and that is part of your salary. I mean, it's
People don't
not-
realize that's part of their salary.
Yeah.
They just don't see.
Yeah.
It's quite good.
The younger they are, the less they.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's-
Is your opinion on that?
I mean, it's.
Anything else on,
I was gonna say, you know, the market price, and it was actually.
You guys have anything on for Leon, Kevin,
We're not on that page.
on that page at all?
The other thing,
Yeah. I mean, this,
Marriage credit card on there, is that what we're looking for?
the other thing that I was wondering about is that enough for training on there? Because I know she's,
travel thing,
yeah, she's gonna need training.
Well, this will be the, that's what I visited with her the other day. This will be Kim and her going to the class, because Kim does not need to lose that license to start back over.
No, she does
And
not.
this will include the judge as well. It's normally $200 for, and if there's any extra classes, this is given some room here. So
Okay,
it's
so there's-
it would be $600 for all three of them to go for that. And the court pays for a portion of it, so that's good on the municipal court. But now if there's any extras, we do have some room there.
Good, okay. I just want to make sure we have enough in there, because training is one of the most important things for every one of these jobs.
Going on with the attorney fees?
somebody called it.
Huh?
I said, I mentioned earlier on the next one, on this page, that I've got something that I'd like to
Oh.
speak to. If anybody catches it or whatever, and you,
So, yeah, the attorney
You
fees.
have-
Oh, yes, I've got
So
that
you
down
got
there
that.
too.
we've added $7,500 to our annual budget because of a current lawsuit made by Mr. Ward Hanson against the city. We're estimating those attorney fees to be about $7,500 and over and above the monthly fees that we've got with our attorney fees. And that's the reason you see such a sharp increase in the budget, this year's budget and the proposed next year's budget.
We pay Jim $2,000 a month for unlimited, but now if there's any coordination, that's why that is an increase.
This, Mr. Ward Hanson is actually costing the city $7,500.
That's
That's so far. It could be more, it could be less.
That's a low number.
Yeah, we don't
We're
know.
hoping.
We're hoping.
I think that's what he told you, right?
Yeah.
Best case scenario it is.
That's what he said, so.
Okay.
That doesn't mean it couldn't be under, it doesn't mean it can't be over. Let's start with audit expense at the top.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, the reason this is increased is because we are going to have two of them headed next year. Because of at the time that I have what we're in right now. At our September meeting, we should have our budget that we're behind on, and then we'll have to turn around and do the cleanup and start on the 21, 22. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we'll be moving on to the 22, no.
No, we won't. No, we'll just have those. Won't have that one.
We're 2 years behind.
Okay, so we currently did, just clarification, we currently did the 2019-2020.
Yes.
Okay, and then we're,
Moving to the 2021,
okay,
then the 21, 22. Both of those years, we're hoping to just get them around the clock.
okay, and we have to do it in the order that they
can't-
came
you
in,
can't-
because you can't equalize the
They
other
have to
budget for
have
the
it.
next year.
Finalized before you can move on to the next one.
Absolutely. understand.
Clarify, you did say we are expecting to finally see it in September.
I sent him a message today and said, do you need anything else? He said he's tying the numbers in, so hopefully by this week, he should be finished, start binding our books and have them ready for our September meeting.
That would be September the 13th.
That's what I'm anticipating. I've been,
No. Yeah.
It's our regular Tuesday.
He just said.
Oh,
"Okay, it's
yeah.
not Friday the 13th."
I got you.
Oh.
I understand. Yeah, mine too.
All right.
Mine too.
Get airplane overnight.
My daughter's 18th birthday is on Friday the 13th.
No, gosh. Anything else? See. Traveling training for
Yep.
admin.
And then you got EDC. Okay.
Yeah, that was the question.
okay.
Well-
The only reason that EDC is out there is to let y'all know that actual, the 3175, that was this, before these actuals were put in there, the transfer wasn't done because EDC had to pay us back because we had used the city's credit card.
Correct.
So it was paid for out of the city's money, but they have paid us back since then.
Okay. So we've got $900 down for basically the secretaries here in the office for training. Don't we need-
That's on, we're talking about the previous page.
Yeah, well, we're on 166120. That seems like a very low number to get everybody trained here.
One, two,
Isn't that just the cost of like one class for the financial class?
Some of them are like 275, but then you're gonna have the motel expense. So,
I think the tax class itself was like 175.
you know, that could go up.
And I'm thinking that's kind of a low number there.
Maybe we could put 1,500 in there or something like that.
Because
We don't know what all classes are needed. I do know the public funds investment, that is something that I know our auditor is gonna say. All need to do that, talking about the secretary, the administrator, they both need to do that, so.
Right.
And those I know are 200 apiece,
And we have how many people that need to go to that?
so that would be like me and Kim.
Mhm.
And then they only come around like about every quarter. So it would, for the new person that would be coming on, they would have to do it as well.
So that's at least 3 people out of the office,
Sure.
possibly 4.
You're at 600 already.
And that's not motel.
And that's not motel or anything else. So
We had just talked about needing to get the secretary trainee over here, some additional training as well. Looking,
But we hadn't had a chance to look into yeah, we're aware of that, but we just haven't had a chance to even look in to see what is available.
So
Because
budget wise though,
you know,
if you don't put it on this line item, if you go, where are we gonna get it?
yeah, we need to up that. I mean, if it costs the EDC 3,000 plus for 2 people to go to that kind of training, I'm thinking. We need to probably put in, you know,
How many you got? 3, you have 3 now that have been to it.
yeah, 2.
And Elizabeth?
not
Hers
this year.
is so old that it's not valid.
Oh, it's not.
No. But this isn't even talking about the EDC. The EDC will take their training money
Oh,
out of their budget.
Yeah, this is hit the
But-
line. See, like,
Yeah.
But we need to look at how much it's gonna cost to send people in the current city hall offices for their training, and they need to get this training. Particularly, I mean, with the auditors looking at everything, they're gonna want them to have. training. So I'm thinking we're needing to probably put about $3,000 there to cover travel expenses, whatever else they're gonna need.
Do they do like DDC does, where they generally have, at least 2 classes a year, one of the south and one of the north? That's what-
Some of them have them in Arlington, for the public investment funds. Some of them's in Denton.
How long are the
Um,
classes?
They're usually a day and a half,
Oh, okay, not too bad.
so that's just for that particular class.
Right, yeah.
But you have more than one class that you need to go to.
That, so
So there's like 3 different classes, am I not correct?
There,
That you need to go to?
that I am not aware of. The only one that I've been to is public funds investment, and it was years ago. I haven't been in the last couple of years. COVID came, and then this last year, we haven't had a chance to go. Some of them were online, and there was no way that we could do it online and still be here.
So,
Well, we went to-
so not only are we looking at, we're looking at this line item, not only are we looking at the cost of the training itself and maybe an overnight stay, but we're also looking at maybe having a part-time person, maybe take somebody's place for them to be allowed to go to this training.
But
What you said.
that would be in payroll. That would not be in this.
Yeah. that would-
This is the paying for the training class.
Right.
Classes itself.
And in all reality, in that sense, that would probably work into maybe even your overtime side of things.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
you'd
that's
have a
what-
person that would work a little bit of overtime
Cover.
to cover up, whatever task that maybe they had to let go throughout the day. So I mean, I think that part would be covered. That wouldn't reflect here. This would be just the training.
I think we, as a council, we really need for Tim to go
Mhm.
as much training as possible.
Mhm. Well, not just him, I'm thinking there's other people in our offices that need to go to this training too, since we're cross-training everyone. They all need to get the same kind of training. It's not just one person here.
Well, there's other types of training, not just the public funds investment, because the public fund investment is it's very consuming for us. It's really,
So that
it's hard.
required,
It's very hard.
that required with the city secretary job.
Mhm.
Out of
Yeah.
that 3175, how much of that was EDC versus how much of it was city? Do we know?
Well, it was all EDC, but
So
we
it was
haven't,
all EDC, okay.
sent anyone from the city to training in years. We
So-
need to do that.
Just bumping it up to the 1,500 though allowed her to have additional from what she was originally budgeting.
Nobody in the office, I don't think is went, but
Not this
really
year.
and truly right now, within the office, we've got only 2 people that have been here for years.
Mhm.
Everybody else.
There's some that are gone that did go to training. There's some that are gone that did have training, so, right.
But if you plan on keeping anyone else in your office, we
Yeah,
need to
absolutely.
also
Absolutely.
get them trained too, is what I'm saying. Just,
Any more on that page?
So we want to change that.
So what do y'all want to change that to?
Yeah.
2,000?
she has a
Oh, no,
comment.
go ahead, you go ahead. You're not, no, you go ahead.
That,
I have something to say.
what number do y'all want to change it to?
What line item we on?
We're still on the
166.
ABC.
120.
All right, Joe.
Not having any idea what any of the training costs. I would just be throwing a number out there.
I'm throwing 2,000, raise it 11.
So,
Just make it even 3. See what you're saying?
No,
He's making
$2,000. Just raise it 11.
Just raise it, go to
okay.
$2,000.
Okay.
What did you have, Ron?
Oh, I thought maybe y'all were moving on, because I'm already at the bottom of the page.
We're not there
You're
yet.
still on training, so.
We're gonna watch our actuals this year, and hopefully that's something we can hone in on a little bit more next year.
Telephone scene 5. One right below it. We talked about telephone
Yeah, we did
last
talk
time.
about that.
That is our landline.
We talked about looking at a different period.
Not yet,
But if we change these phone lines, it's gonna be including the phones as well,
yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
really-
the internet phone.
not that it don't need to be done, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be,
yeah,
it's gonna be a
yeah.
big upfront cost.
Okay. That's all I had on that page.
That's Robin's comment.
Robin.
Okay, thank you. On, number 166148, the library appropriation. I spoke to Virginia Johnson. She is a board member on the library, and Myra Scrabbeck, she's the actual librarian. And they wanted to say thank you for the $500 increase. That's helped them a lot because they've been able to upgrade to some ebooks and bring the library up electronically where it's more up to date. If you want to see a copy of their financials, she said they would be more than happy to show them to you, just a specific broken, breakdown of what they spend. But they were very happy that we upped that last year for them. So,
And that was,
and I don't know if many people know this, but they have free Wi-Fi. So a lot of people sit out in front of the library and use that. And it's been very popular. And they said a lot of people that are using it are like doing job searches and all kinds of stuff. So our library is doing a lot in the city.
Well, I don't know how everybody else feels about this, but I think any allocation that we give, we should be receiving, like a P&L. We know what we're giving them, and I think we need those numbers to see, because we don't want to, I don't think, there's nothing funny going on, but it'd be nice always to see what exactly that money is going for.
And they
What if they're
understand
spending
it.
it
And
on?
when I mentioned it to them, she said, we have no problem.
And I think I saw 20,000 ebooks or something like that
Yes.
today. It's
They
a
upgraded.
huge number. You can go down there. I don't know how that works. I
Mhm.
guess you check it out and it's on your phone or
I
tablet.
think
or
you can download them onto like a Kindle or those tablets or whatever where you can read them.
But is it only for, is it forever or?
Now that I don't know, because I don't use
I don't
that
have
tablets, and they've also bought a huge amount of new books, because a lot of their books were in disrepair, people would check them out a lot, so they bought a pretty good amount.
No. Okay.
I personally would like to give them some more money. I think that's just, too important for this city.
We're very fortunate to have a library, because most cities our size do not have one. And a lot of the smaller cities around us, they come here to use our library too, so. And they do get money from the state library fund, but it's not much. And their librarian is paid. So they do have a salary employee there.
But he just works, how many days a week?
I think they're open 3 days a week, 4 days a week, maybe. I can't remember what she's doing.
Without asking for a whole lot, I'd really like to give them $1,000 more, but I'd be happy with 500 if y'all be up to that. Then we can slowly give them,
You'd be amazed how much a small amount, how far they can stretch that.
we can give them 500 this year, and then maybe next year give them
Going up
another
500, so if we go to 7,000,
maybe give them another 500 next year, just gradually give them to where they're actually getting some money that they can do stuff with.
I like that.
And it's not such a big hit on the city at one time.
I'm for that.
everybody agree?
You
I
okay with that?
don't have any comment on it. I don't use the library. I know We got a lot of kids around here, but we're just what I see. I know they do a lot and everything, but I never have seen more than one car there at one time. And I'm not saying they don't have this road, don't get me wrong. I think $1,000 would be, a little overboard.
500 would be fine.
Yeah, 500.
So we change that to 7,000.
Everybody in agreement?
Are we gonna try to equalize that or somewhere?
It's gotta come from somewhere.
The last time.
On the next page. On the next page, the contingency, take that down to 2,000.
That sounds good.
Where we at?
The
next
next
page.
116, 158, 166, 158.
You're wanting to go down to 2,000 on that one?
Right.
That way.
It'll make.
Make that difference.
So it only makes that one. We still have the other 1,100.
So you got 1,600.
We changed on the training.
Training.
Oh, yeah.
So if you take that down to 900, you'd be back down.
Which one?
The one you're talking about.
So going, taking the contingency all the way down to 900, is that?
That puts you back right.
That's fine, that's just a
Make it
cushion.
900,
You
just
know,
back
for
up
emergency
level.
anyway.
That brings us back to bar.
Okay. It's already 9 o'clock. I'm kidding, I just said, I think anybody's.
That's what I'm saying.
Got
Well, I was trying to get everybody's attention, that's all.
And you don't have to emergency.
You're actually on the flag. I'm really bought flags here.
That I have, I had bought $300 worth of flags, it's not hidden in the right place.
So the transfer of the EDC funds, that's already occurred, right?
No.
That's,
Oh, no, this is the,
oh, the amount you owe the EDC.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the payment each.
That's really their portion of the sales tax.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it is.
what does the city get on the sales tax? What's that figure there?
6.25%.
So we at 625 and EDC gets 1/2 of 1%, is that right?
Sales tax, 8.65.
8.65.
Sales tax is 8.65%. No, 8.75%.
Sales tax?
Then, when you pay tax on something that you buy, it's 8.75%.
2,500.
2,000.
2,500. That's all you can charge in the state tax.
And then it's 6.45 and one. I don't know my figures.
6.25.
6.25 and 1.45.
Yeah, the 6.25 goes to the state
Then,
and the 1.45 goes to the city.
So, and then the EDC gets 1/2 of 1%.
it's a third of it.
A third of it, okay. I couldn't remember what the figure was. I mean, it's no biggie.
This hazardous waste. Okay, this is to go to Hunt County to take paint and tires and stuff like that. Well, they had cut our city out of that. We were not included in that, and they called. Well, I called, it was around January because Kathy Majors called me and said that some citizens went to take some stuff there and they wouldn't allow them to do it because the city was no longer a member. So I called them and they said, well, you haven't paid. I said, y'all haven't ever sent us a bill. And so the lady that was in the office, this was last month, she called and she said, I need y'all to pay this hazardous waste. I said, well, I was told that we're no longer part of it. And she said, well, let me check on it. She called me back the next day. She said, y'all can be included in it. So she sent me a bill from August to September of next year. So it's paid for this whole year up through next year because it was their mistake for not billing us. So
We need to get, we need to get some procedures and guidelines and things like that. On it, 'cause I have no idea. I know what hazardous waste is
they
and all
have,
that. Does
I
that mean
believe they have,
anybody?
I
with a-
believe they have a flyer that we could possibly get. that we
Yeah,
could
something
have.
that would explain it, and I know what kind of material is hazardous waste, but does that mean all, however many people we got living there, however many residents we got, can load up a pickup truck full of hazardous waste and go there?
I think there's a limited amount that you can take, but we would need to find out for sure what you can take, just like paint. You know.
I'm sure it's gonna be so many buckets,
Paint.
so many tires,
Yeah,
only so many batteries.
And you can only do it maybe one day a week or something, you know, so. Because you do have to, go to, you know, their plant or wherever it is that you dump it.
I've had the thought of, Shannon's doing a really good job on code enforcement and getting some of these yards cleaned up. And one of my ideas is if they're cleaning up their yard to get into compliance with code enforcement. I think we need X amount of tire, if there's tires there, I think there should be X amount of tires, and we've got to deal with 360.
360 tires.
360 tires, I think it's a couple of bucks or something like that. a
Three.
tire.
$3.
I'd be willing to, as a city, to absorb that cost of them cleaning up the city. I mean, I remember back right there at Killian, there was an old house there. Somebody lived in it and it burnt a little bit. You couldn't really tell it that much. But so the owner went and took it upon herself and tore it all down without a permit. We went and charged them triple what the tear down was. That was absurd. We should have been paying them to tear it down, not them pay us for a permit to tear down to clean up part of our city. And I think that was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But if we had something on the tires or whatever, I don't know. It's just a thought for,
Sounds like a great workshop. It's helping
Yeah.
clean up the city
That could be part of
after
our,
we,
that could be part of our one. September. To-dos and
yes, and I want,
completed and non-completed.
yes.
That we talked about in the last budget.
yeah, and I want to add in there too, someone that's cleaning up their yard. That I would like to open those dumpsters at the sewer plant to residents that are trying to that have received a citation, that are trying to clean up their yard. Instead of charging them $30 to go dump it, don't charge a dime. Just let them meet somebody there and go dump it. They're cleaning up our city. I think that to me,
Right.
these people can't afford it to begin with. Some of them can. And I think letting them do that for free, if they've gotten a citation or if they've got some issues in their yard, I think we ought to be letting them do that for free. It's not there for us to get revenue. We're not, what little bit of revenue we get from it won't pay for much. So why not just let them do it for free? That's my 2 cents.
We need to make sure we have
That works.
one discussions. For sure. So we were. The website, they're coming pretty soon.
Okay, yes, that we will probably have it, I would say, I know in September, it's gonna be up and running.
September, the website will be running.
Yeah, they're gonna come up and present it, everything.
Well, actually, we're going to have a, training, several of us in here to, be able to post and start, a trial run before we put it up.
Yeah, and this is gonna save us quite a bit of money. And most importantly, it's gonna allow us to be more transparent than what we had been in the past, because what we're gonna have on there just to name a couple of things, is a calendar of events.
Yeah, we can plug and unplug
Oops.
stuff.
We
can plug and unplug stuff.
Yeah, be it a budget, a meeting, the minutes, agendas, or just information about an event that might be coming to the city, or just general information. So I think it's gonna work better than what we've been using in the past. And it's $3,700 a year, that's it.
Mhm.
So under that, P and Z secretary, are we missing some zeros there?
No,
You're only
that's-
getting paid $100 for the whole year?
no. Oh, for the year, yes, I'm sorry, yes, yeah, we're missing some, yeah.
Missing, well,
I
I think we're
I just say,
missing.
no, it's $100. I mean,
There's no active,
$10,000?
there's no actual either.
There's, no, there's not. There's probably only been a couple of payments this year.
I don't,
It's a whole nother ball.
I know that she has not turned in any bills.
What is that each,
$100.
100 is a meeting, and if they have 1 month.
it'll be 1,200.
Actually, it's 75 of me.
Oh.
This one is, the only reason that it was more is because for extra meetings, you know, you might have to have 2 meetings, extra a year for, planning.
$100 even.
You know, that's. in-
You're right,
that's in-
yeah,
that's in- it's,
That's right. I remember something. This should usually wait, you know, 3 or 4 times.
Yes, so we're probably, we're a little over, but it really shouldn't be any more than that, I wouldn't think.
But we still gotta change that number.
It's gotta be bigger than $100.
Yeah, I mean, but it needs to be 1,000. I think it was supposed to be 1,100, obviously.
Yeah, 1,100 something.
Number or close?
1,100, because that's what was
Because
budgeted
they
the
have
year
extra
prior.
meeting.
Yeah, because they could have a couple of special sessions or whatever. so.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Iris, does anybody have any idea if we've signed any additional people up and how many we got on it now? Because we did a really mild push on trying to get people signed up for Iris, but I don't know. if
We have 284 now.
We have 284 and it seemed like it was 100 and something before. Is that right? Yeah.
I was thinking-
So we're getting there. We just need, but on the other hand, the website is gonna help us on a lot of this. So they'll get notifications on the website as well, so. We wanna leave it at 14?
Yeah.
Is it 14? Yeah, 14, yeah.
That's.
I think the next one, 166,184 is another one we paid.
In
We
January,
paid-
in January,
Was it January?
yes, Tony that posts for our website right now. He renewed our contract and he was it,
He did it on his, it was on a weekend.
yeah. but
And he
it
was unable to post anything until he paid for it.
Right, but I'm thinking that it was a 3-year contract.
See, I don't.
So
I'll talk to
I put paid for 22 and 23. It may go into a little bit of 24 as well. So,
Yeah, I don't.
because it was in January when it was due, so that,
We had to reimburse him for the money.
right, so that's already paid for this year.
We will be not using him after our website comes in.
That, right, right. As soon as we get it to where we have everything that we need off of it.
And he's worked with us very well, even knowing that, he's still, you know, he's still working. Let's see, add security system.
That's already added, that was, it's in there. We didn't have that in our budget prior, but we did this past year, we added it in there. So I just don't have a number in there.
Right.
Compliance and
There you go, compliance.
giving us something here. These are, have you already put in her information on there? or-
There. I have, this is the,
Okay.
there's two columns there. And, the only difference is, the salary.
What do you mean, the two, I see the two columns, but
Oh, okay.
you got one in your budget and you got one out to the right of it.
The one is proposed for 18, which is the one to the right. The one that is in the budgeted column is for 19.
What do you mean 18 and that?
Depending on what we're going to pay her.
Oh. Probably about $30,000 off.
Seems to be nice.
I'll see. If
I don't see a problem. It's not a big problem.
Got a little sketchy there for a second.
They had to put their.
Yeah.
It's all fun, you know. We gotta have fun. Can't have fun, we should stay
Yeah,
home.
I'll stay home.
Okay. We have to try to do it.
Yeah, I have a question about 169,109.
What is it?
You can clean that dumpster.
I know what it is, but what?
That
Is this
is-
something that code's doing now and we're not?
This is demolition.
Okay, so this is strictly demolition.
Mhm.
Okay.
I thought,
No, clean up dumpsters.
yeah, we don't pay
Okay.
for that.
Okay.
Those two anyway.
I think the cleanup line that code had was for like all the junk in the yards people have. That they won't clean up, like if we were to go in and clean that, that's not gonna be cheap to pay somebody to do. So I think that's what that cleanup line is in the code. I'm not sure how dumpsters got added to it.
Telephone Road was 100.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
We're working on it.
It's-
It's amazing.
Oh, God.
This is strictly from.
I mean, that could be, quite honestly, guys, it could be just a line item that we've all sort of used and not utilized.
Well, one thing that we pay for is every time that Keep West Walking Beautiful has their cleanups,
Yes.
that's strictly on the city.
Yes.
And, so, you know, this can account for some of that money.
Yeah, I mean,
that-
like-
that
Could we,
they're
could we use this, maybe not the $4,000, it would be $4,000. Well, my idea of, Shannon's got
It could be.
a place on Telephone Road, she's issued compliance. They're 70 and 80 years old.
Yeah.
They can't afford to pay somebody to dump, they do a little bit of time and we let them dump for free.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, like I said, I'm sure there's a line item that we just sort of overlooked, and quite honestly. I mean, our code enforcement officers only. How many months, help me out here? I mean,
I got my in training.
I mean, but with the city,
February,
November, because you've been working for us and doing a great job. We're
November
very,
4th will be a year.
we're very grateful. So, I mean, this is the first time that she's even been to one of these with the city. So, hey, I'm sure it's probably. just a
Yes,
lot-
Michael.
I just think I need to put a number out there for all of you to digest for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
2 spring, 2 fall cleanups,
Mhm,
6 dumpsters. Each one of those,
mhm.
$200 a piece to dump.
So you're
I'm just-
talking about how many dumpsters total?
So this
8?
would only cover,
8?
well, 6 dumpsters each time,
Huh?
6 dumpsters for each cleanup.
So 12 go.
So that's
Times 4.
Oh, yeah. $2,400.
$4,800.
4,800.
Right,
And that's just for 4 cleanups a year. That's not You know, when we're taking customers who come and pay and the cans get full and we gotta call and have them dumped. I'm just saying,
Do we get?
But I don't think, this line item is meant
That,
for
yeah.
cleanups,
What is that for, is
which is what I'm saying. I don't know if this is meant for those cleanups.
Garbage.
Because it has never
pickup.
been used for that. If it has, why wouldn't we have used it for it?
No, but we're collecting for
You
garbage.
see what I'm saying? That's what I'm going off of. So that,
I didn't.
the better-
It doesn't mean that it didn't. get used.
so we're not chasing too many rabbits. The better question is, when we do the cleanups, right?
Mhm.
Where is that money being pulled from when we're paying for those cans?
I think dumpsters is put in there as well.
Well, no,
Yeah,
and it's probably a good idea, because it may be dumpsters, right? It could be that.
I think it has been hitting our water sewer.
Right,
And it's really not just the water sewer's responsibility.
Is there
Since
another?
this comes under code.
we're looking at 2,400 a weekend, what we're saying.
well, 6 dumpsters,
I'm
200.
1,200 a week.
That's,
1,200 a
that's
weekend,
Saturday.
so 4,800,
Yes.
4,800 total.
So if that, I guess my question was, is that coming from him? Because I believe it was.
That, yes,
Okay.
it was hitting.
So I was correct on that.
Do we know where it was hitting us in that budget?
Not for sure. We'd have to see where those garbage fees are being paid.
I didn't see them going through there. I don't remember
Weren't we
seeing.
promised some free dumps by the sanitation solutions whenever?
That is for,
That's for cleanup,
Clean up there.
cleanup and tear down,
Yeah,
demolition.
that basically. the demolition.
Well, we were promised though, actually, I think it was 1 can a month.
I was thinking of something, yeah.
Oh, no, maybe it's 2.
I have to look. at the
I think,
contract.
we need to look at our contract, because we're supposed to get 2 40-yard
I'd have to
cans.
look into it.
We're supposed to get 2, I think it's 2 40-yard cans a month.
20 or
I just looked at that contract last night.
Sure
but I
about
don't
that?
remember seeing that.
I was thinking. there was
Now,
something-
years ago, we got 40 yards,
What are the cans that are out there now?
20 yards.
Okay. All right, so maybe it was 40 yards a month, something like that, but we're not even getting that.
This other 4,000 dollars on this, that's probably for the tear down, because we have to pay for the dump.
We have to pay it, there is a fee, we have to pay for the trash.
We have to pay.
Right.
We have to-
Oh, a tip fee.
Yeah,
But I think that's the demolition cost. That's this demolition cost, which is 2 lines down from that one.
Yeah, but we
I don't
get,
think
we're
we're
get 2 free a month. A year.
paying.
2 year, 2 free a year.
Well, we get the demolition free, but we do have to pay for the dumping of the trash.
Right, so I'm thinking that's what that line is for.
Well, that's the last line there, the demolition cost.
I've got it here somewhere. I'll put it.
It's 2 lines down from where we were.
I'll get that email. I've got it in here. I just looked at it.
You got demolition costs, that's more than likely gonna be the cost. Because we don't have to pay them to tear the house down, all that stuff, we just gotta pay to dump the house into but
I think we really need to look at this 1,800 on 169-110 contract labor mowing. Because we've only done one,
We did one this year.
see, and we've got, there's a lot more that could be done.
Yeah.
That we used to do in years prior, for a long time. And, we kept, well, I'm not gonna go there, but we did do a lot of mowing in years past. And we really, last year, we didn't do any.
But I hate to take anything away from that. I think now that Shannon's been to this, this is gonna give her a lot more light of what is in the budget for code
Yeah,
and.
Well, I feel like that we need to go back to the second page and increase the mowing income.
There's $1,000 for mowing income up there.
wait a minute, you said the first page?
Second page.
And that would be where we're charging the customer to go mow their yard because they won't mow it.
Yes,
Even that's, income, okay,
that it needs to offset each other.
yeah.
So we want to increase that to,
Probably, I would say maybe 2,500. And same thing on that from 1,800 to 2,500.
Okay.
I agree.
So
change that one to 25.
And then the other one, the
Mowing.
expense, mowing.
169,
Are we doing that though?
We need to do it.
So can I brag on our code enforcement again? Because we
Please
got a
do.
lot.
Please do. She's well deserved.
I think we're gonna continue to see more that we haven't done in the past that we're been doing now in the recent past. And we're just gonna continue seeing that trend, right? I mean, I don't know about y'all, but month over month over month over month over month, it's been a result. I
If
mean,
you drive the city, you
It's a
know,
result.
Exactly.
It's a result. So, I mean, her and the chief are gonna see more and more because, you know, now he's got staff, right? He's
Yeah.
probably has staff, code enforcement's in place. We're just gonna continue seeing results. We need to make sure they have the money in their budget to be able to take care of these
I
things.
agree.
And now that they know what all they have, it's something they can use as a tool.
I agree.
I wouldn't take anything away from any of those, increasing that one to 2,500. Like is.
I'm not sure that the dumpster thing. Maybe it's okay. I mean, I guess y'all were saying that that's coming out of water sewer.
You know where that's out of water sewer that's coming out of? That we didn't see it. I don't remember seeing it.
Yeah, I think that was the
I
intended
don't
purpose.
think that was a line item. I think it was just always paid out of the expense.
Nah,
No. And like Kevin was saying, you know, some of these things have been missed.
So again, from last year, we've kind of zeroed in on some of it. This is just one that we ought to be really looking at this next year and try
Yeah.
to zero in on.
I will say, I mean, if you really take a step back, we're doing a lot better.
Yes,
We're identifying
Oh, yeah.
these things every year.
yes,
really identifying our actuals so that we can
all
be able to make a clean judgment here.
So then we need to increase that 1,800 by 700, make it 25, so,
yes.
so he
Yes,
messed that
yeah.
up.
For the mowing?
Yeah.
Yes, yes. Moving on up.
Yes.
Y'all want to continue on and finish this one and start over tomorrow night with the police department?
Finish this one out at least. We're on.
Big toasting punch.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do, that'd be fun. It's almost in now.
You need to get your glasses.
Chief has his gun point.
See, I believe let you
Hey, you say he's
Oh,
All right.
that's all right.
CC computer and software, what's that? Repair and maintenance.
that's, we didn't have anything in
We've got 11.4 budgeted.
No, it's
No,
not.
it's-
The employee insurance. you're looking at.
Oh, I see now. Okay, never mind. Yeah. Why are signs in code?
Those are like if we put them in the yard,
Like a.
Oh, okay.
Yard sign.
Like I'm thinking street sign, so.
like if it's a common one, like grass mowing, we can have a sign made, and put the signs in the yard.
Is it-
Depending on the certified.
Is that training and travel gonna be enough?
Yeah.
Well, I only had the one for this year. I don't know if I have to have another one. I gotta look into that. By February, I don't actually think I do, but I might, so I left it.
How much
My
was
last class was $550, and then I think we had another, it was $5 or $550, and it was another $100 in fees. Like for the certificates and all the
Okay.
administrative stuff,
Where'd that go?
and I did it online. Oh, the testing, I think my test was $50. So it was like $660 by the time we were done.
So make sure
Well,
you know.
well,
I
actually,
think so.
so Leon just asked about dog catching. Actually, it's funny you asked that. So we actually learned in the last couple of days, I seen a company in Faith and, can you help me out with the name? What was it called? American?
All American Dog.
All American Dog.
All American Dogs. And so, Shannon's already reached out to them. They gave her a quote, all this different stuff. But then too gave us some education. Really, it was more of a learning than
It really was.
knowing the price, because
It's kind of
all
a bigger
the-
shock.
all that's, but there's so much requirements,
Yes,
right? If you're gonna catch dogs, you gotta have a way to take care of them.
Yeah.
You gotta have, you gotta have
well, and your person has
kennels,
to be licensed,
licenses, blah, 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 blah.
so you have to have a full-time and a part-time.
They're working for 32,
37.
37 different municipalities at this moment. But the cost to this city for them to take care of our animal control needs would be the tune of like $16,000 a year.
$16,800 a year, $1,680 down, $1,260 a month.
But what they have to have by state regulation is full-time person that's licensed for this. There was 2 or 3 different license
They
coded
have
people.
four vehicles, so their main place is in Pilot Point. One of their locations is in Faith, so they're 30 minutes away, non-emergency, emergency, unless they're already on an emergency. So they come take the dog, they have their own holding facilities, the dog would stay there for a week, on the weekend it gets transported to the main headquarters. If it's a resident dog, they bring it back to the resident Monday through Friday. If it's a weekend, the resident would have to go pick him up. That being said, if they brought a dog back to the resident will be ticketed because they would contact us and they would get an animal at large ticket, so we recoup.
That's unlimited
They are-
amount of animals.
It's unlimited. They do 1 hour a week where they,
Patrol.
patrol's the word I'm looking for.
They patrol.
And there was something else they did.
If we call them.
Well,
they-
they
they
feed
come
them
out.
for the food,
Yeah.
water.
Yeah,
all
they
that.
provide, oh, and they're 97% live release. So they do all the adoption events. 3% of their animals are euthanized, and only because they either attacked someone or they were not fixable. There was something wrong that could not be fixed. So they have a real high percentage. It's considered a no-kill because the percentage of
Yeah,
euthanization is very low.
There's a dog hanging out of the sewer plant right now, right in front of the door.
There's several. We have
Yeah.
a big problem right now.
We've
We're
had-
dropping dogs and stray dogs and unleashed dogs.
We've had
We have
5
a
dogs
huge
dropped
problem.
off at the water plant in the past 3 weeks, and we've had, I think, 7 to 10 dropped off at the sewer plant.
gosh, I've never seen her.
Well, they do that because they know if they can get under that gate, you know, the sewer plant's a big place,
Yeah,
and so, yeah, it's a problem.
We actually do have a pretty
Kevin
big
Feeney.
problem with stray dogs.
It depends on which one of my guys you're talking to.
I mean, it's definitely a problem. It's kind of, I wish I would have seen this truck before this time frame because we're kind of late to the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the time, we don't really have a big solution.
No.
It's something we can consider eventually.
Yeah, well, and that's what Shannon and I were talking about.
Right,
We're
and I,
definitely gonna keep this in the thought process.
I talked to this guy for a while, and he was the owner. He sent me over a basic deal. Their contract is based, their fees are based on residents. So I'm trying to figure out if is it residents per the census or residents per like our meters? Because that's a significant difference. So there's a significant difference in cost. That cost is based on 2,000 residents.
So
Our
back,
meters are in the 1,100 range.
back to training.
So.
650.
Yeah, I mean, we've already actual this year, we're 725, you did one training, right?
mhm,
So. I mean, if we do one training next year, we're off.
mhm.
So I mean, I guess if we were real,
Yeah.
I don't know. If we were real conservative and we only bumped it 200, that would get us over what we're actual for this year, but.
Is there any more left in that contingency that we saw on the last?
I know.
Now,
Yeah.
on mine, there is a $2,500 contingency that I stuck in there. That I put in there for anything that I missed since I hadn't done a budget before.
Oh, I do.
We can get that.
I was like,
yeah, I
there may be
see it, I
something I
see
don't
it.
know
All right,
about.
let's just keep moving along. Looks like Shannon covered it.
Let's put some on training and take a little bit out of it.
So good looking out. So do
Well-
1,000 up, leave that one at 3.
That or leave it like it is and move it as we need it. I mean, if the class is more than 650 and there's one other class or two more classes, then we'll pull it out of contingency instead of doing it now. And I have no idea what it costs. Well, just leave it as it is. And we'll pull it out of contingency.
I think mine was 5 this year, and then I had $100
Good,
for
but
the test
that's a one-
for my
takes 2
life.
minutes. But,
So I think
you know, to take it out of contingency.
If she's not even sure if there's any classes.
Right.
Because
We don't know.
we're doing it without even knowing. So
There are.
I know there's more classes I have to take, I just don't know. how to.
Your job, no.
My actual license comes in where I'm not under Swaggerty anymore, mid-February.
I love how she took that. She did right past you. I mean,
We got,
She walked right past the kids and she.
it wasn't even like a blip in the radar.
we got another $1,500 for animal control. What are we gonna use that for?
Taking an agreement.
Well,
No, we will have to address it at some point.
We
He asked
need that
about,
stuff.
yeah, he asked about animal control, which I think we can use. Commerce.
we need that because Commerce does come out and get our dogs, but they have to buy somewhere.
Right, we,
I know that sounds bad, but they have.
Hey, hey,
They have to buy somewhere.
like, you mean, you know, they have to buy it, the people that pick them up?
No, Commerce will pick them
I
up.
think they did.
we have to pay.
Press it.
We do.
Commerce.
But we have to
So,
pay.
it'll- and they- And the SPCA won't take them if they're being fed and watered.
We're moving to the next letter.
I was trying to work a contract with Commerce to see if we could, that's why we did that line item. For the 1,500 to see if we could somehow work with Commerce and get a contract with them and pay for transport, because they've got all the things to give up the dollars.
Yeah.
And all the licenses.
So where are you gonna get a vehicle for $4,000?
There you got it.
We got it. We're buying it.
Already there.
It's the Tahoe that Mike had.
I have a new truck.
That was something I asked for somewhere.
If she gets the car with the racing stripes.
Do you really think the postage is gonna run that much? I know you're doing a lot more mailing now. You're gonna continue to do more mailing. Do you?
I will
is that-
tell
is
you
that
that
reasonable?
I have slowed down the last few months because my postage is so high. I think we budgeted 1,800. I think I've used 1,700 and I haven't been. I mean, 800 budgeted. I used 1,700 almost.
1,500 out of it.
So.
Well, I know you're-
So at the rate you're going, you're 34
Way
weeks by another year.
over on our budget. for postage.
Well, and I think to kind of back up what you're budgeting here, you've truly only been mailing for a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably. more
Yeah,
than-
that actually, my mailings probably started, I mean, pretty heavy March.
Right.
And the last couple of months, I haven't been sending as much out because we are way over.
So a little over a quarter.
And so you haven't been doing.
And this month I haven't done.
Right,
as
that's what I'm
much.
saying. So it's a real clear picture.
I don't need her not doing it because there's not enough in the line item, so.
You think 5,000? You spent 1,300 in 4 months, 5 months.
Actually, I know I've spent more than that. I'm. closer
Well,
to
I think once the
1,700.
word gets out that she is sending these letters, these people will say, ooh,
And
Okay.
I will tell you that 1,700 minus along the highway is only this side. We haven't even hit this side.
You're on the north side?
So
It's a.
all the neighborhoods on the right-hand side of the road,
On the
we
south side.
haven't hit those.
No,
We have
north side-
not ran
north side
over on
hasn't
a
been touched.
separate
Right.
out down there. All the code's been run on the same side as the city.
Just keep doing what you do.
So we have a long ways to go, and at
I know,
$1,700, that's only half our city.
yeah. You've done a wonderful job, though.
Okay.
Yes.
I commend you for the budget.
I think
It
you did a
looks
really.
really
I
good.
think
You did a
really
damn
good
good
job.
job.
Really good job.
Yep.
Cool.
Everybody all right with it?
I think it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that being said,
We're gonna hold.
10:15.
Oh, I'm not gonna do the problem, Doug.
Not today.
Okay, did everybody get the worksheet that this is what John
I did
provided?
somewhere.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, if you'll take that and compare it with what he has here, it's kind of explained. The salaries and what his wants are, so.
Okay, so it is 8:35, Monday, August 22nd. The chair will entertain a motion on item number 7.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I said,
All in favor?
Kevin Patterson.
Leon Myers.
Cornwall.
Chris Burkett.
We are adjourned.